do this. Let's watch the loading screen together as we get hyped, we get set for Frozen Temple between herO and INnoVation. The top left hand side, spawning in as the blue Protoss player. Let's hear it for herO. Going up against the red Terran player to the bottom right hand side of the map. It is going to be INnoVation. INnoVation, the god himself. Man, I mean, these two players, both of them together, so highly decorated in StarCraft 2. Both of them with insane achievements on either side. Especially INnoVation was, for a long time, one of these players who truly was, I mean, at the start of Heart of the Storm, when the Casper players really started to come around, he was a dominant player for a long, long period, a GSL champion. I mean, herO as well had his moments, an IEM champion in San Jose, Casper Cup champion in 2015 as well, winning Star League at the end of last year too. Has always placed highly, you know, one of these players who has his championships and also has his 3rd and 4th place finishes in GSL. I think, was it Star League last year and GSL last year? I think he got round of 4 in both of them. I think it was like Season 1 GSL, Season 2 SSL for herO, where he got round of 4. It was pretty, it's pretty nice. It was good. He was a really dominant player last year. Maybe not so much this year. We haven't seen quite as much of herO, but has, well, I mean, we say haven't seen as much as herO. Still got top 8 GSL Season 1. Still got top 8 GSL Season 2. Still made it into Star League, at least Challenger Series or the main series, I think, both times. Made it into the Casper Cup despite not really having a great performance. So you've seen him. It's just when he's not winning things, you know, it's herO, right? So we expect him to win things. So if he's not winning, we sort of say, well, maybe it wasn't the best year for him. INnoVation, I mean, maybe in a similar situation, I guess we could say as well. I mean, you think about it, when was the last time we really saw INnoVation really doing a whole bunch? Well, not very recently at all. Like, I mean, you think about it, like, INnoVation hasn't done anything this year at all. You know, nothing of substance anyways. From being such a dominant force in Heart of the Swarm and Legacy of the Void, it really hasn't been his time. Nice overcharge blocks off this Reaper. It's not really been his time at all this year. Knocked out in GSL Code A this year. Both times. I remember he played Dark in one of the seasons. He really didn't do much at all this year. An SSL appearance. That was about it. Again, GSL, 2-time GSL champion. Such great results between the players though over the past few years. A real kind of clash of titans here. As you see, a Twilight Council based open, and it is Twilight before Robo Facility, which does lean for me towards something like a Dark Shrine opening or Resonating Glaives rather than that Blink, which we're so used to. A couple of Marines here. Oh, gonna get the Mothership Core kill. That's real nice. Wow, that was real sick. Mothership Core coming to explore across from herO, and INnoVation, very well placed Widow Mine. Marines get some damage on. Mothership Core moves away into the mine, gets taken down. Nice start. Blink is being chrono boosted out here. Warp Gate as well. I wonder how aggressive this turns out to be from herO, because it's not every day you see Blink coming up quite this early in the game. Like Blink before Robo. It's a very aggressive sort of way to play out this sort of opening, as we're going to be seeing 2 Widow Mines in a medevac starting to move in towards the upper left hand side of the map. Pylon comes down to the bottom left. I do feel herO is looking for some aggression here. I mean, it is this sort of build order where you expect kind of an aggressive opening in a lot of ways, I think. Because if it's Twilight before Robo, you're really looking to get that Blink ASAP. And for what reason? Well, the main reason is to be aggressive. So, Pylon is down. We'll see if a Gateway comes down on this side of the map as well. Or if you'll just be happy with the slow warp in / warping in from a Warp Prism. As Robo about to finish up and still making pros. We'll still probably move towards a 3rd base sometime soon. But we'll want to probably put in a fair amount of Stalker-based pressure. As Widow Mine's actually dropping off here. First one went to the natural, didn't kill anything. As the second one will kill killed 1 probe. Second Widow Mine kills 1 probe as well. No real damage done as the Observer will pop out. He'll clean up these Widow Mines without too much further issue. Maybe the one in the main base will get a second shot off. He'll be very close. No, he sends the Observer to the main super quickly, so it's going to go down in plenty of time. I'm just going to be seeing that Widow Mine getting cleaned out there, so Two Widow Mines cleaned out, not much to say about that then, as Blink is going to be finishing from herO very, very soon. INnoVation going to start 2 more gases, which isn't too crazy. He's already up onto his 3 barracks, so just making sure he can continue to produce siege tanks and medevacs, and also start adding in some upgrades of his own as well. Because we do see that pylon being used to warp in a few more stalkers. Resonating glaive starting to come up as well. So we're starting to see this aggression taking shape from herO. Again, not a huge gateway based all in, but definitely committing to a fair few units to try and get damage done, and hence delaying his own 3rd nexus to kind of do this. As we see, he's actually cut workers. I mean, stuck on 42 probes. It's not even quite 2-base saturation yet. 2 more gates as well, so really aggressive now. There's 3 more gates. Okay, so he is going to turn this into a big gateway-based attack. There's very delayed extra gateways. The stalkers still gathering together over to this left-hand side pylon. 3 tanks in position, though, and you have to imagine with these sort of siege tank numbers, it'll be very difficult for these stalkers to do a lot. I wonder how much he's going to try and get done here. If he could blink in, well, I mean, killing combat shields would be nice. Stim would be the main target, but that's very far back in this base. Unlikely herO would be able to pick that off. There's 5 extra gates. It's 8 gates in total. Glaives finishes very soon as well. And right now, INnoVation doesn't really know much about this at all. You know, you look at his vision, and he's not been on the map for a long time, apart from for that medevac. And, you know, he did see kind of only 3 gases, which may be something for him to kind of think about. As we have him with the Diva voice pack activated. That's the first time I've actually heard that while having like the vision of someone selected. That's crazy. It's pretty interesting. All right, well, let's see what INnoVation's going to do. He moves out, sees a stalker. Obviously, moving out when his opponent is looking to be so aggressive can be problematic. Stim will finish, so at least that's one thing he's going to be able to keep alive here no matter what. There's the stalkers will get ready to blink into the main. INnoVation, what is his decision then? What does he decide to do? His second tech lab goes down, so that's combat shields picked off already. INnoVation does turn around. Widow Mines initially do get some good damage done. Tank vacs coming into position as well. Reactor lost on the starboard, as tanks will be microed backwards. 1 goes down to survive. I mean, this is the power though from herO. He just blinks out of there immediately when he's done, and he is then done. And scan from INnoVation recognizes now that the 3rd base is not going to be around. And knowing that the 3rd base is not around means that he knows he can just sit back defensively and just wait for his opponent. Just sit back and wait as these stalkers are going to gather together towards the front of the natural. A few more Widow Mines just going to be burrowing on the main base. Nice scan, picks off an observer. I mean, INnoVation at this point just going to sit super defensively, and that might just be the problem here from herO. INnoVation going to sit super defensive, starting to build his 3rd CC just now. Not really much that herO can do apart from try and bust a defensive Terran player, which is never going to be an easy thing to do. I mean, we've got this Deliberator in the skies, we've got siege tanks on the ground, we've got Widow Mines. Very hard position to break through, even with the Adepts, even with the Stalkers. But he has to do something because he's down on workers. He cut workers so long ago. He's down on other upgrades. Here we go. These Adepts are going to siege on in. A big blink forwards. He'll try and get rid of this Liberator nice and quickly. The Immortal gets dropped in towards the main base, but the Warp Prism goes down to the Widow Mines. With no Warp Prism here, there's no reinforcements. With no reinforcements, herO has to type out GG. Absolutely no way he can do everything else other than tap out that game nice and quickly. Into game number 2 right now. Let's go and introduce our players. Once again, vertical spawns here on Frosted Day. This is apparently and the left-hand side too. This has been like the same every single game on Frosted Day. It's only been 3 games, but still, it's pretty crazy. So we have to the top left-hand side. It's going to be it's even been the same spawn location for INnoVation every time, bottom left. To the top left-hand side, our blue Protoss player is herO. Let's see if he can bounce back and tie this series up 1 game apiece. His aggressive playstyle in game number 1 did not work out for him though. So going to have to maybe try and change a few things up here entering game number 2. To the bottom left hand side, our red Terran player. Let's hear it, guys. If you tune on INnoVation, he's going to be coming in and looking to see if he can close out this series, confirm a top 2 finish at least already in the Leifeng Cup by entering the grand final with a victory here. INnoVation didn't have a great time in Leifeng Cup qualifiers before now. That's the first time he's made it into the main event. Showing us that he is definitely a force to be reckoned with. Prize pool for today is, I believe, it's $400 second place, $200 for third place and fourth place, and then $1,400 for first place. So lots of money on the line. $400 guaranteed if you win this series right here. If you lose this series, you're still guaranteed $200 because you'll drop down to that losers bracket final, which guarantees you at least third place. If you win that, then of course you go into the grand final. It's the same as it winning this, although there's a huge advantage from coming from the winners bracket than the losers bracket. If you come into the grand final from the winners bracket, you only have to win one best of 3 in the grand final to win the tournament. If you come in from the loser bracket, you have to win 2 best of 3s to be able to win the competition. So it's a little bit different. It's a little bit interesting as we see CC coming up from INnoVation on the natural expansion right now. Send up into this as we have the cybernetics core dropping down from herO to the top left hand side of the map. I'm just going to be moving around with this probe, looking to see what's happening over the next few minutes. Actually going to be trying to scout out his opponent here and look to see what else he can get up to. So probe moving in towards the upper right hand side, and just going to be not finding his opponent in this first location. INnoVation does find his opponent straight away with this Reaper, so that's pretty nice. Already one worker killed and a second worker killed too. 2 workers in the early stages of this year. Mothership core now on the way up. Stalker on the way up as well. And INnoVation is just going to be moving in once again and just going to be trying to do a little bit more damage. Overcharge comes down, kills the Reaper. Maybe a little bit greedy there. That said, he did get to see this robo facility, so he does get to see something, at least with the Reaper. It's not the end of the world. Could have been a little bit better though, I feel. As we have this Stalker just sat underneath that mothership core. Probe moves down to the bottom right hand side, and he's going to be having a little bit of a look around as well. Still doesn't find his opponent, so now knows it's bottom left. Knows it's these vertical swans, and this time you can see here you're going for a very different sort of opening while still going for the same structures. The robo comes down before the twilight, and again that means we're much more likely to see an early third base. We're much more likely to see a macro based playstyle from herO rather than the super aggressive playstyle we saw from him in game number 1, which again relied on a fast blink and then fast resonating glaives to go for that big gateway all in. Didn't work out for him, so no surprise to see him changing things up. And this is again much more standard way to go about things. A blink should come up first of all, and then we'll just sort of go from there. As you see, this probe is going to move away from here. We're going to move and just sit outside the front. Just going to watch for anything interesting moving out onto the map from INnoVation anytime soon. INnoVation going to go for the tech lab on the factory, because he does already have the winner mines moving across the map in his medevac. So probably a Liberator come up very soon, and probably a siege tank as well. Actually, might be a second medevac rather than the Liberator with the fact that he does have the siege tank build, and might go for that sort of push we saw earlier from INnoVation, which he executed against Stats in the series. It was on Frozen Temple, I believe, the second game of their series, and there's a really nice build from him. Very well executed, killed the third base, really punishing the pros player for their greed, and he ended up kind of just taking the victory because of how well executed that build order was. So looking to be very similar from here right now, as we see first tank going to finish, second tank on the way, and a second medevac should be on the way up soon as well. With keeping this first medevac alive, it means he has 2 medevacs, 2 tanks, 2 tankovacs therefore, to move across the map and attack with. Does need to remember that medevac though, and is looking as though he's going to be doing that now. He's just waiting for the minerals to start it, and there it is, medevac on the way. And look at this, interesting opening from herO going into fast robo base. So going to really just look to rush out either Colossi or Disruptors here in the early stages. Colossi Disruptors coming out here very soon as he adds on more gateways. Still no sign of a third nexus super early on, which makes me interested into kind of the way in which this attack will now work from INnoVation, obviously, because last time we saw this attack happen, it was against a super greedy pros player, super fast third base. This time, it's against a much more sort of, well, tech-based pros player. He's really kind of going into more gateways early on. He's going into the robo bay and so I'm really intrigued. Can INnoVation still get damage done with this attack as he moves up through the center? An attack which, well, herO should know about. His probe at the front did get taken down, so he knows this is on the map at least. As we're going to be seeing tanks dropping down, and actually nice damage from the Stalkers. One of those medevacs are again very, very low. And that's a little bit problematic. INnoVation comes in, sees no third base straight away. Blinking forwards does get 1 medevac kill now. INnoVation was a little bit kind of messy with that, I think, just letting that kind of come down. Letting that medevac go a little bit too far forwards. He starts to boost his tanks forwards as well, trying to fight here with the Marines as well. Slowly bringing his next tank forwards too. You'll see Mothership Core moving forwards. First Colossus is on the way up, and Overcharge gets popped. Paneling goes down pretty quickly though. Mothership Core will fall. Big mistake by herO. Does get into the Overcharge out straight away as INnoVation continues to use his single medevac here to keep on pushing forwards. herO is going to be committing in here. The Adepts are going to shade in as the Stalkers blink, and this is just going to be too much. I don't think there's a way for INnoVation to clean this up, and he will just lose a lot of these units. So Targets down one more Stalker. Actually saves the siege tank on very low health, like super low health. I actually thought that I died there, but no. He gets the last Stalker kill, gets away. These last few Stalkers shouldn't be able to intercept. I mean, they can blink once more, but the boost is pretty close to the medevac as well. So all is good. INnoVation is staying alive, and Takes a 5-worker lead from this. Slight army supply lead is behind all of this. He has Stimpack now finished. Combat shields coming up as +1 also comes in as well. And just transition already away from that siege tank player into the Widow Mines, into Liberators super early as well. Wow. Made 2 more medevacs now, reactoring out Liberators. Very interesting sort of way to go about things. One of the interesting things that Colossi causes as well, though, is that generally against Colossi you do want Vikings. And if you're going into Vikings, then it's sort of difficult, actually. If you're going into Vikings, it's a little bit tougher to really make things, to really kind of take positions on the map. You don't have as many Liberators or as many medevacs. So the super fast Colossi here do create a bit of an interesting setup. Now, 2 Colossi are definitely engageable by this army of INnoVation right now. Especially if he's got tank in this as well. And especially if 2 Liberators decide to join up very soon too. INnoVation moves forward, sees the 3rd base now on the way. The Colossi will come in from the left side. INnoVation just see those. He targets one down very quickly. It gets very low. Doesn't quite go down just yet. But man, he gets a lot of damage onto it. And this Marauder is so close to reaching it. Doesn't quite make it in the end though. Retreats through his Widow Mines as he tries to just get a little bit more damage onto the Protoss army. As more bio will gather up together now. Only 1 Liberator here in the center so far. The 2nd Liberator is on its way. So he will be able to join up everything together very, very soon. He does need to make sure he is joining everything up together, as we see herO, Stalker's Depths, a Colossus, and a Sentry. He's actually got 1 Colossus out the front. Big mistake by herO. Didn't hotkey this one or so into his main army, and that's a bit of a mistake, but INnoVation doesn't see it just yet. Never scan comes down, man. This is unfortunate. Like, this is a free picking for INnoVation if you just saw it. He's actually going to go up to the high ground here. herO still doesn't see that Colossus. Poor guy. It's being left completely on its own. Couple probes going down. Not much to really kind of do in terms of dealing damage in this position. I mean, 4 workers is nice, but that's about it. 1 Colossus goes down. Observer gets taken down by the Widow Mine. Obviously, the splash damage onto a few medevacs is a little bit painful. As these few units just going to sit here. The Liberator really kind of providing there's a little bit of support, but the Stalker's blinking forwards now will clean this up, and actually medevacs will start going down as well. Not sure why INnoVation feels as though he can still sit around in this position. Was maybe waiting for the Widow Mine to go off again or something. I don't know. Loses another couple medevacs, which I don't feel he needed to lose. I felt as though he could have played a bit safer. If, had pulled away a couple of those medevacs just a little bit earlier on, because I don't think he was going to, kind of find too much more there anytime soon. Medevacs start to the top side, as we're going to see 2 Widow Mines starting to move out onto the map. 1 up the left-hand side, 1 up the middle. So 2 Widow Mines starting to move out here. And again, we just see herO kind of coming in with this Observer, having a little bit of a look around. Not 100% sure what exactly the next move is for either player, really. I mean, 3rd base is up from both, so both are fairly happily saturated, and I feel as though at this point INnoVation probably does begin to go into just more Vikings. We actually just saw 2nd starport finishing up, and now we do have 4 Vikings being made at a time, so it's just time for players to sit back a moment or two, let their tech trees continue to develop, and then just sort of go from there. I mean, the Vikings will definitely help a lot against the Colossus count, which is now up at 3 already. I mean, it's a pretty decent number of Colossi. Don't know if you can fight that with just Marine Marauder and Widow Mines. I don't think you really can, so I think INnoVation has to be a little bit more cautious here than he's being right now. Widow Mine going to get a shot off. Actually picks off a Stalker, some nice splash damage at the front. INnoVation realizing that he can't really fight here, turns around, does pick off a Observer as he scans and backs away during this, so this is nice. Going to be seeing Stalkers continue to do a bit more damage. A couple of Liberators coming in, some Vikings will start to get some damage done. One of these Colossi very low from earlier. It was the Colossi I was at the front, if you remember, was sat and not really doing a lot. As we are going to see 1 Colossus going down. INnoVation seems quite happy to fight, like way happier than I thought he would be. He's actually way up in supply there for a few months. 40 supply up. The warp bin only brings a 30 supply difference now. But it's still a decent amount for INnoVation to work with. A scan comes down again. Stalkers, Adepts, Colossi are going to be moving forwards, and it's going to be seeing this trade starting to happen. Vikings continuing to move forwards here, and I see the Warp Prism actually microing around Colossi before he gets taken down by the Vikings. INnoVation is going to just keep on fighting backwards, so the Colossi can't attack as this Vikings get ready to kind of get rid of those. There's only a couple of Vikings left. Can he get the last shot he needs onto the Colossus? He gets it with the Marauders. SCV's had to be pulled into this though, as 18 workers have gone down for our Terran play. He's having to pull back here across the map. A single drop is doing a little bit of damage. I mean, not really too much, and he's actually going to lift up and just pull away towards this base or so instead. Protoss army is going to start moving back home. INnoVation is held on. It was a good defense by him. I mean, pulling the probes in completely, the SCVs in completely the correct decision. I mean, this is really nice from INnoVation, actually. I mean, you look at this, and he's up still. Like, a lot of supplies. Work count is still heavily in the lead of Triple Mule on his side as well. Pulling the workers in was completely the correct choice, because now he hasn't lost too much army. and he maintains a pretty decent spot in the game. 2-2 upgrades about to finish as well, and that's another advantage which he's going to be able to work with here over the next few moments. With a 2-2 over 1-1 upgrade lead, he's just going to trade that a little bit better against the Protoss army. And considering he still managed to win out that last fight, who knows what the upgrade lead is going to mean for him going into the next fight in the near future. One of the downsides of herO at this point in time as well is the fact that herO has to rebuild the Colossi count from one single robo facility. He hasn't made a second robo, and without a second robo coming into play, his Colossus count is going to be very low for a long time. One Colossus now, he has to still wait for the next Colossus build. I mean, that's another minute basically without a second Colossus. You know, it's a long time to be without Colossi. And so moving forwards here, INnoVation has so many opportunities just to end this. I mean, yeah, these Stalkers pick up a few of the Vikings, great. That's, you know, that's brilliant. But he just lost like half his Stalker count to do that. And you know, at this point, one Colossus doesn't really matter if you killed a few Vikings. This Colossus doesn't change enough, considering you just lost so many Stalkers. We're just going to see INnoVation very happy to keep on fighting here. The sentry goes down, so the Guardian Shield dissipates, and some more reinforcements stim on in. No units in front to tank, which means the Stalkers just die. The Colossus will die as well. Probes get pulled in too, knowing that he has to do something to try and hold this off, but it's not going to happen. And INnoVation, the player we've been following all day long, continues to win. As he will be moving on into the grand final. And herO, I'm not sure what he's saying here at the very end, but it does type out with the GG. herO is going to be taking the 0-2 defeat. INnoVation over 2-0.